Welcome to VNT. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The world's power balance is shifting, and a new era of global cooperation is emerging before our eyes. At the heart of this transformation is BRICS, a coalition that's rapidly gaining influence and changing the way nations interact on the world stage. Originally coined as an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, BRICS has evolved far beyond its initial concept. What started as a grouping of major emerging economies is now a political bloc with bold ambitions to reshape the global order and challenge the dominance of traditional Western powers. In 2024, BRICS made headlines by expanding dramatically, welcoming Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE into its ranks. This expansion marked a significant step, broadening the group's reach across the Middle East and Africa, and signaling its intent to become a truly global alliance. By early 2025, Indonesia, the world's fourth most populous country and a major Southeast Asian economy, joined as the 10th member, further strengthening BRICS's economic and geopolitical clout. And the momentum doesn't stop there. Dozens of other countries, from Latin America to Asia and Africa, are expressing interest and lining up to join this growing alliance. But this isn't just about swelling membership numbers. It's a strategic move to unite nations that feel sidelined or underrepresented by Western-led institutions like the G7, the World Bank, and the IMF. BRICS now offers a powerful platform for the Global South to assert its interests, amplify its voice, and challenge the long-standing dominance of the West in international affairs. The group has even established its own financial institutions, such as the New Development Bank, which serve as alternatives to the World Bank and IMF, providing funding and support tailored to the needs of emerging economies. The message is clear: emerging economies are no longer content to simply follow rules set by others. They want a seat at the table and a say in how the world is run. By building their own institutions and forging new partnerships, BRICS members are charting a new path for international cooperation and development. BRICS is evolving from a loose coalition of emerging economies into a formidable force that's shaping the future of global politics, economics, and diplomacy. As the world watches, this new bloc is redefining who gets to influence the global agenda, and the story of BRICS is only just beginning. BRICS's expansion is no longer a distant phenomenon. It's now knocking on Europe's door, signaling a dramatic shift in the continent's geopolitical landscape. Turkey and Serbia, both with deep historical, economic, and cultural ties to Europe, have openly expressed interest in joining BRICS. Their moves are not just symbolic, they represent a growing desire among some European nations to look beyond traditional Western alliances. Turkey's pivot is striking. As a NATO member and longtime EU candidate, it's now seeking new alliances after years of friction with the West over issues like migration, defense, and democracy. This search for alternatives reflects a broader frustration with stalled EU accession talks and shifting global power dynamics. Serbia, meanwhile, is carefully balancing its EU aspirations with its historic ties to Russia and growing relationships with China. For Belgrade, BRICS offers a way to strengthen its global position, attract investment, and diversify its partnerships without abandoning its European ambitions. For both countries, BRICS represents an opportunity to diversify economic and diplomatic partnerships, assert greater independence from Western influence, and play a more active role in shaping the emerging multipolar world order. This signals a broader trend. Countries on Europe's edge, once firmly anchored to the West, are now drawn to the idea of a multipolar world where power is more evenly distributed. The appeal of BRICS is no longer limited to the global South. Its vision of alternative global governance and economic cooperation is resonating with nations that feel sidelined or constrained by the current Western-led order. European leaders now face a tough question. Is the Western-led order losing its pull, even among its closest neighbors? The debate is intensifying in parliaments and policy circles across the continent. The choices Turkey and Serbia make in the coming years could reshape Europe's future alliances, potentially opening the door for other countries to follow their lead. As the continent watches these developments unfold, Europe must now confront the reality of a shifting global landscape, one where old certainties are fading and new possibilities are emerging. Why are Turkey and Serbia turning to BRICS? The answer goes beyond simple economics or politics. It's about reshaping their place in a rapidly changing world. As global power dynamics shift, these nations are seeking new alliances that better reflect their interests and ambitions. It's about strategic autonomy and economic opportunity. By engaging with BRICS, Turkey and Serbia hope to diversify their partnerships and reduce dependence on traditional Western institutions. Both nations want more control over their destinies, tired of being junior partners in Western alliances. They're looking for a seat at the table where their voices matter, not just as followers, but as equal participants in shaping global decisions. BRICS offers access to vast markets, investment, and development financing, without the political strings attached by the IMF or World Bank. This means more freedom to pursue national priorities and invest in infrastructure, technology, and innovation. For Turkey, strained relations with the EU and US make BRICS a valuable bargaining chip. It allows Ankara to balance its foreign policy, signaling to the West that it has other options and won't be pressured into one-sided deals. Serbia values BRICS support on sensitive issues like Kosovo, where Russia and China back its stance. This diplomatic backing strengthens Serbia's hand in international negotiations and offers a sense of security. The bloc's non-ideological, non-interference approach is appealing to governments criticized by the West. It provides a platform where domestic policies aren't constantly under scrutiny, allowing leaders to focus on internal development. BRICS is a club where economic cooperation trumps political conformity. Here, countries can collaborate on trade, technology, and investment without being forced to adopt a particular political model. For Ankara and Belgrade, it's a chance to pursue growth and influence on their own terms. They see BRICS as a gateway to new opportunities, where their ambitions aren't limited by old alliances. As the world's economic center of gravity shifts, the East is becoming an increasingly attractive alternative. Turkey and Serbia are positioning themselves to benefit from this new era of global cooperation and competition. The interest of European nations in BRICS highlights a clash of philosophies: the EU's values-based model versus BRICS's pragmatic approach. The EU demands democratic reforms and adherence to strict standards for membership, often frustrating candidates like Turkey and Serbia. Deep integration and constant scrutiny can feel intrusive, making the path to membership slow and contentious. BRICS, by contrast, unites countries with diverse political systems around shared interests: economic growth, influence, and sovereignty. There's no requirement to change political systems or adopt specific values. The focus is on practical cooperation, not ideological alignment. This non-interference principle is a direct challenge to the Western model. For many, BRICS offers partnership without lectures or conditions. It's a new way to engage globally, on their own terms. The expanded BRICS is now a global powerhouse, reshaping the international landscape in profound ways. With new members joining, it represents nearly half the world's population, and over a third of global economic output, making it a force to be reckoned with. The bloc's influence in energy markets is immense, controlling vast oil reserves and production that power much of the world. This gives BRICS significant leverage over global supply chains and energy prices, impacting economies everywhere. The group is pushing for de-dollarization, actively challenging the US dollar's dominance in global trade and finance. The West can no longer set the agenda alone. BRICS now offers a credible and influential alternative. Global politics is now a multipolar contest, with BRICS emerging as a major player on the world stage. The world's balance of power is being rewritten, and the future is more uncertain than ever before. BRICS's rapid growth brings new challenges. Its diversity, once a strength, now threatens unity, as members have conflicting interests and priorities. China and Russia push for a strong anti-Western stance, while India and Brazil prefer multi-alignment. Strategic rivalries like India versus China risk paralyzing decision-making. New members add complexity. Iran and the UAE or Egypt and Ethiopia bring their own regional disputes. Internal tensions could distract from the group's global ambitions. The real test is whether BRICS can move from broad principles to concrete action. Can it coordinate on trade, climate, or security with so many competing interests? The stakes are higher than ever, but so are the risks of fragmentation. BRICS's future depends on its ability to turn diversity into strength. BRICS's rise is a wake-up call for Europe. The EU must adapt to a world where it's no longer the only model for prosperity and stability. Turkey's potential BRICS membership would challenge NATO and force the EU to rethink its relationship with Ankara. Europe is being urged to become more flexible, pragmatic, and open to partnerships beyond its traditional allies. The Klingendale Institute suggests prioritizing shared utility over shared values in some relationships, mirroring BRICS' approach. The expansion of BRICS signals the birth of a truly multipolar world. This era will be more complex and unpredictable, defined by competition and cooperation among major blocs. For Europe, it's both a challenge and an opportunity to reinvent itself. The global chessboard is changing and everyone must learn new moves.